Sports, news, smack, Rome. Only on CBS Sports Network.
Welcome back. My guest tonight is a two-time AL Manager of the Year. Earlier this year, he picked up his 1,000th career victory against the Yankees. I'm joined by Baltimore manager Buck Showalter. Buck, it is good to have you on. How are you?
Jim, how are you today?
Buck, I'm doing great.
A little warm down here.
All right.
We got a little summer kicking in here in Baltimore.
It might be good for you. In fact, it might be good for the bats. Yeah. You guys are scuffling a little bit offensively. Is it a matter of you running into good pitching, or are the guys just in a bit of a funk?
I think it's a little bit of both, Jimmy. That's a pretty stock answer. But, you know, in order to get where we want to get, you've got to beat some of the good starters, too. The good news is guys are starting to – they got a choice. They used to throw that fourth and fifth starter when they had a choice against us, so they're kind of – we're seeing some of the frontline guys. And we beat some of the frontline guys this year, but you know, it's a combination. We're trying to make it happen in one at bat, but you know, the want-to's there. It's hard to get them to pull back. I'd rather have to push a guy forward than pull him back, and there's some frustration there, but their mentality is somebody's going to pay down the line, and we hope it starts tonight.
Hey, you talk about frustration. You've got guys that are struggling a little bit, Buck. If they hit a couple around the button, 2 or 3, they'll try and tell themselves it's fine, it all evens out. But does it all even out?
No, that's one of the big fallacies in baseball. You know, Trout made a great play last night, robbed J.J. Hardy of a home run, and then he hits next time up a seed to the shortstop. You know, for every 3 line drives you hit at somebody, you'll be lucky to get 1 flare. So, you know, you hope the baseball gods shine on you here and there, but the key is just keep squaring the ball up as much as you can. And, you know, every once in a while, Jim, that pitcher's pretty good for them. They're good at what they do, and I have a lot of respect for how hard this is that they do. A lot of coaches and managers forget about how hard the game was to play and how bad they were on a given night.
That's it. You got to tip the hat sometimes. You know, speaking of Trout, Torrey Hunter had told me, Buck, on my radio program, he looks at him and he sees Ricky Henderson sometimes, that he thinks he's that good, he's that exciting. I mean, you saw that play. You saw him bring it back last night. What about that youngster's upside? Does he impress you like that?
You know what, Jim? It's funny you said that because we were talking about in the clubhouse, and I came up with Ricky Henderson. It's just that physicalness. There's a certain physical play to him and to Harper and some of the great young players that are coming to our game at such a young age. You know, it's almost like they growl at the game. You know, there's a certain physicality, and they also have, you know, Trout has that you got to respect it. Instead of veteran guys wanting to knock these kids down a notch, you know, the more you see a sincerity in their game. You know, I think that's what I know Mike's proud of, and it bodes well for the future for the Angels. We're glad to get them out of here because that is some kind of athletically gifted club, and they're going to give Texas all they want.
You know, Buck, you never, ever want to see anybody get hurt, ever. But you look at the Yankees, they lost a couple of key guys yesterday. CC Sabathia goes to the DL, Andy Pettitte goes to the DL. You never want to see anybody get hurt, especially class guys like that. But pragmatically speaking, do you see an opportunity right now, because they lost a couple of guys, to make a little bit of ground, up a little ground yourselves?
Well, you know, Jim, nobody wants to hear you talk about injuries. You know, I'd like to get our 7 or 8 guys back from the DL. So, you know, everybody's kind of happy you got the problems, and that's the case with us. We've been trying to grind through it. You know, we're you know, they've spent their money very well on the what ifs, and I think that's what a lot of people miss about the high payroll teams is they spend money on the what ifs and they're able to withstand some of those things. But they lost 2 good ones there. But we got business here that we got to take care of ourselves, and we hope to get some of our people healthy back, like Markakis and some other guys. So we had to put Nick Johnson on the disabled list today. So it's more about what we have to do. It's a given that the Yankees, the Red Sox, Tampa, Toronto is going to get better. To me, I look at it as a given that they're going to be what they're capable of being, and we've got to continue to play at a high level to stay with them.
You know, Buck, this week the team is going to honor Earl Weaver. Let me get your thoughts on Earl. First of all, you and he, what's your relationship like? How close are the 2 of you guys?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. I finally got to the point where he finally told me to call him Earl instead of Mr. Weaver. We have such just a certain awe and relevancy here in our organization for Earl. And, you know, he came down and spoke to the organization last year. We did it again this year. It was almost like a seminar with all our coaches and managers. There's just so much respect. The more you're around him, you know, things just don't happen. He'll be the first to tell you he had great pitching and good players, but such a brilliant man. He's so far ahead of his time. You know, things that people are doing now, he was doing years and years and years ago. And And you see the players that played for him. Watching him and Palmer go back and forth, it's just beautiful. And once he got comp around our people, we wanted it to go on forever because it's just such a knowledge of the game and what it takes to win. And we embrace that every chance we get. And our ownership, Mr. Angelos, has really paid great tribute to these guys out and behind the bullpen here. Just some beautiful statues to remind us of what this place can be like. It's one of the best baseball cities in the country, and we've got to regain their trust little by little.
Buck, one last thought. You picked up your 1,000th career win earlier this season. You don't like to talk about yourself much, but you've been around this thing a long time. Do you find the longer you stay in it, do these things mean more and more to you? I mean, maybe you and I are getting a little bit older, but it just seems like things just mean more the longer you're in it. Do you feel that yourself?
Well, Jim, I also realize I got close to 1,000 losses I don't even know. And, it's about the players. It's about the people that come to our games. There's nothing worse than having a full house here and us playing poorly. The people decided this is what they want to do with their day. And you try to deliver a certain product and surround yourself with people. But, it's about the players. It's about what environment best suits them. And I think the more you do this, the more you realize what an honor it is to do it each and every day. And the players almost embarrass me with the honor they allow me to be in here with them every night. I get a great seat to watch them do things that there's not a day goes by I don't shake my head and go, my gosh, how do they do that? And it's a different game. It's the most challenging game in our country, I think, because you play every day. We play over 200 games counting spring training and rain and sometimes snow, it seems like, and heat, and there's no such thing as an off day. You're traveling, so certain things show up in our sport. But the more I do this, the more I realize what a special thing it is. And every day I take it to heart of how lucky I am.
Sports, news, smack, Rome. Only on CBS Sports Network.